Real talk. No bull. Real talk. We're putting it all on the table. You know what to do.
Yeah, welcome, episode 12.
12?
Here we are, episode 12. We're getting into the thick of it now, aren't we?
Yeah, it won't be long before we're seasoned veterans
Yeah, wow, yeah. We're getting there.
in the cast scene anyway.
Yeah. So, last episode, I talked about that I was going to pull out of the half marathon that I was doing because of a back injury and stuff. So, I managed to complete the half marathon.
Oh,
So yeah, I was pretty stoked about that, eh? I was pretty stoked about that. But we'll get back to that in a minute. So just off the top of the show, you like what we do, comment, like, subscribe, do all that sort of stuff.
or else.
Or else we're gonna Braden will come looking for you.
Yep.
If you want us to talk about any specific kind of topic, shoot us some comments about that on Spotify. Rate us.
Actually,
if you like us.
we might even put out a questionnaire or a survey thing on. I think you can do it on Insta, I believe,
Oh yeah,
where you can vote for a topic,
yeah.
and we'll try to make sure it's what's
Yeah.
the word I'm looking for this time? Not when it's so no one knows who it is.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Anonymous.
Anonymous, not unanimous.
Yeah. Not unanimous.
What an idiot.
That's all right. And what happened this week?
Some sad news this week. You know, we've lost two legends of, well, you know, I wouldn't say our generation, but we're the last generation that probably is going to be familiar with them because Dean. There's no loss to Dean,
Yeah.
is it? To our producer Dean, no. But yeah, we lost the godfather of heavy metal, Ozzy himself. You know, God rest his soul wherever he is, which I'm sure he's either looking up or down, and we lost the immortal one,
Yeah.
which turns out he's not immortal.
No.
The Hulk Hogan, the Hulkster.
Right on, brother.
Right on, WrestleMania. What you gonna do? Yeah, so just sad week.
Yeah.
A little bit of a cheers
A little bit of a
for the
toast to
homies.
those guys. All right.
Yeah, and now let's do it.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure the bat population of the world is going to sleep easy now,
Yeah. Well,
knowing that. There's a dad joke.
yeah, that's true.
I sometimes have them.
Yeah.
I'm not very good at them.
No, I'm not good at them either. Like I said, it's more of a pun thing that we're good at.
Yeah.
Not the jokes.
Yeah. So back to the whole marathon thing.
Yes.
I want to talk about today, like doing stuff that's hard in our life and doing it, and then realizing that things aren't really as hard as we build them up to be in our mind or we perceive them to be. Like even had a friend the other day. She's a real estate agent and she probably doesn't follow what we do here, so that's all right. I'm not going to name her.
Well, that's not good enough.
And but she's sort of started doing some content for her Instagram and, you know, doing some videos, some, you know, talk to the camera sort of stuff. And she was saying how hard it was for her to be able to do that. She said, you know, she can talk in a room full of 20 odd people, talk about, you know, real estate and all this sort of stuff, but then actually just standing there in front of a camera and talking to a camera felt a lot harder. So this is what she was going to do from now on. And so for me, it kind of got me thinking like doing things in life that are really hard, it actually, like, there's a lot of growth in that, right? Like for me, I've been on this quest of running for the last couple of years now, and I would have never, ever thought that I would be a runner or that I'd even run a half marathon. To me, running was like, I was always kind of like, you know, keep chasing the white line, buddy, sort of mentality, like, fucking how boring is that shit? But now that I'm a runner, I don't know, I guess I still don't feel like I'm a runner, but I run like 3 times a week, but I still kind of don't feel like I'm a runner.
That's a runner.
Oh, I know, right?
You're a runner.
I know, right? And I'm not doing anything else in my time, so I'm a runner there.
Sorry, I'm just getting a fraud call. I might just.
But
It's on silent.
But when I started, it was really bloody hard. You know, like when I started, I probably couldn't even run 200 meters to save my life, you know. But I kept at it, and I kept at it, and I kept at it, and I kept pushing past that voice inside my head that would tell me, you've got to stop. You've got to stop. This is too hard. What are you doing? Why are you making me feel this uncomfortable? And I'd let that other voice in my head kind of go, nah, man, we're going to keep going to that next lamppost, or you know, that other voice in my head was almost David Goggins-esque.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Come on, big boy.
yeah, just telling myself to actually just, you know, fuck up and just fucking do it.
Just do
you
it.
know, and push past the pain, push past that barrier. And like I was, yeah, man, and to, you know, to have 8 weeks leading up to that half marathon with next to no training, but knowing that I'd put in a lot of work prior and I had a really good base foundation built, I knew that I could do it. I was apprehensive because I'd been injured.
It wasn't just your back though. You had a calf niggle too.
Yeah, calf and a knee niggle, and then
baby cow.
and then my back, and then it was, you know, like it was a real culmination of things that were really kind of getting me down, you know, and I was starting to feel really kind of down about it, to the point where I tried to pull out of the race, and the race organizers made it so difficult to pull out of the race, even though I'd paid for like an insurance to get a refund on my race entry. They made it so bloody difficult. I just threw my hands in the air, and I said, "No, it's not worth it," you know. But what it made me do was it made me go, you know what, I'm gonna do this, even if it's not my main goal, even if it wasn't the goal that I'd set originally. I'm gonna do it, even if it feels fucking hard. And I did it, and I actually did better than I thought I would do without the injuries.
Oh, that's good.
And so, yeah, it kind of goes to this point of, you know, let's talk about things that we've done in our life that have been really hard, but we've found the growth in that, you know?
Yeah. That's a good topic, I think.
So what about you, man? What's something that you've done recently in your life that was really hard, but you've found growth in that?
There's a few things when we discussed before air. We'll touch on that one last.
Yep.
The podcast, you know, talking about. I've always been an open book, but you know, actually being recorded and being put out there.
Yeah.
That was really hard. You know, you knew what I was like. I think I'm getting.
He's looking over my shoulder.
Yeah, I know.
It's not got a few new things on set tonight.
Yep.
So
we're trying to make it more. No, we're trying to make it more. No, we're trying to make it more setish.
Yeah, we're trying to make it more
Setish.
setish.
Trying to look the part.
Yeah. And just catch these masks are just catching my eye. So
All that glare.
Yeah. And no, he's cool. Kind of like we've got one each.
Yep. Looking over our shoulders.
Yeah.
Judging.
But
But
cool,
the podcast, that's something that it's been hard. But like you said, you find something in that difficult spot, in that difficult space.
And let's talk about that for a minute. Like, when you came to me with the idea of the podcast, how long had you been pondering that for? That's not something I've asked you before.
No,
So.
the ADHD kicked in, and it's something that I just said, fuck it, I'm going to do. Right? Because I've always...
But what brought on the thought of doing a podcast in the first place? Like, where did that even come from? Like, how was that?
That was when I ended up in hospital.
Yep.
I thought, so prior to that, I've always said that I would love to be a spokesperson. I would love to go out there and talk about men's mental health and how important it is, and that it is a big part of society, even though it does. It's a lot of light's being shone on it now.
Yep.
Still needs to be more, but you know, at the time when I was originally thinking about it, I still needed to make a living. Otherwise, I would have just done it then and there. But then again, I had to talk to people. I could talk to people one-on-one or in a small group. But this is kind of something that I thought it's still just talking one-on-one, or you know, I've still got Dean here as well, listening in and making, and, you know, doing all the producing and all that stuff. You're doing a great job too, Dean. By the way, bravo.
Thank you, Dean.
Yep.
We love you.
Yep. We love you. You're the best. Yeah. So with all that mental health stuff, and then I had my little episode, and ended up in that space, and I was just thinking about it. I'm thinking, well, I'm watching all these other men in there, and I'm just going, really need to talk about, get it out there, or at least, I was passionate about it. And then I thought, fuck, I'll do a podcast, not realizing how hard a podcast is. Like
to get off the ground.
To get off the ground. It is fucking hard work. And
You-
again, Dean would be lost without Dean.
Oh, we would
We'd be screwed.
Yeah.
We would have been.
Yeah.
It wouldn't even be happening, to be honest.
I'm technologically inept
No,
over here. So.
I would have given up by episode 2, I think. So, but that was the reasoning behind it. Just get the message out, and it's put me into, like what you said before. There's growth in.
And what have you personally found like the hard parts of starting this podcast? What have been the hard things for you?
Not being so judgmental
Of
myself.
of yourself.
Yeah, because as you guys know, I'm a shocker for it. So I've worked on that, and that's probably really helped. I've found myself being a bit more positive about it, and which has also travelled. It's also filtered through to. I also felt judged in my workspace. I was always conscious of, if I do this, am I going to be perceived as stupid? But everything's fixable. And I've learned that through the podcast. If I say something wrong, it can get edited, even though we don't edit, really. So it's the podcast has helped heaps.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's helped.
Yeah.
It's really helped me be less hard on myself in terms of a sense of judgment.
And I guess another part of that is knowing that even though we don't have a huge following and we don't get a lot of views or listeners to our podcast, we are still helping people because people have reached out to us.
Yeah, even some of the comments on our pages, like we're getting people reaching out to us, and it's amazing. And a lot of the feedback is people are loving what we're doing. Like we're just so open and raw. And
Yeah.
that's one of the reasons why we don't do a lot of, we just leave a lot of things happen in our cast because it's supposed to be real, and that's what we're all about. And people are noticing it, and I think people really like that.
That's right. It's,
But what about yourself? What have you found? Anything through this podcast or adversity?
yeah, to be honest, I mean, you ask my wife this and she'll say, Tim loves being in front of the camera. So, and she's not wrong, man. Like, honestly, man, like I grew up in front of my dad's camera. He was a photographer, and that was something that he did as a hobby. And my sister and I were his main focus points, as well as landscape. And so I never really shied away from any kind of opportunity where I got to show people what could be done. So, back in my mountain biking days, I took every opportunity I could that came my way to be able to progress the sport in my local area or showcase what the boys and I were doing, or being that spokesman for it. And there was a time when I got sponsored as a rider, and I had a lot of opportunities come my way, and there was even opportunities prior to that. But once I kind of got sponsored as a rider, there was more opportunities that came, and I just said yes to everything. And a lot of those opportunities were opportunities to get behind a camera. So for me, it was always like I always wanted to have my own show. I always wanted to have my own extreme sports show, where I went around all the different extreme sports events and interviewed people and recorded that and showcased all of that sort of stuff around NZ. There was a show like that back in the day, and I always thought, man, it was so cool.
It's going to be me.
Yeah, and I always wanted that to be me. You know what I mean? And but over the years of losing mates and whatnot, due to suicide and mental health issues, and I started using the social media platforms to be able to speak more about mental health and how important it is to be open and to talk about it and all that sort of stuff. So when you approached me with the idea of doing a podcast along those similar lines, I thought, yeah, this is something that needs to happen. We need to make it happen. And because there needs to be, I feel that what we are doing by sitting here talking, conversating openly and discussing hard topics that are to do with us, if a guy's watching that and he's got a mate who finds it hard to talk, or maybe he might feel like, okay, well, here's two dudes that are just two blokes, two dads.
Just relatable.
And if they can do it, then I'm going to ask my mate if he's doing okay. Or I'm going to ask my mate, like, hey, man, like, I think we need to have a chat about some things. There's some things that are going on. Because honestly, if you can't be open and honest with, like, your mates, then who can you fucking be open and honest with?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, if your mates are the ones judging you, then they're not mates. Like, your mates are the ones that should be boosting you and raising you up and looking out for you. Like, today, I did the park run this morning. And, I was still feeling the effects of this half marathon. But I got to keep the legs moving over. And I ran from home, so there was a couple of Ks there, running from home to the park run, did the park run. About halfway through the park run, I kind of just was like, man, I'm getting a bit of a stitch and I needed to stop and walk. I need to have a walk. And there's a specific spot on this course that I'll only walk there and I'll only walk for that length. It's a bridge. And I'll give myself that bridge to just re-regulate the breathing, kind of just calm down for a minute. And then as soon as I'm at the end of the bridge and I start running again, that's that little bit of leeway I give myself if I'm feeling it. And as I'd stopped, this guy come running past behind me and he says, oh, you all right, mate? And I said, yeah, no, I'm good. Gave him a thumbs up. And I thought to myself, I said, I don't know that guy, but he's part of this running community and he's looking out for me. And I said, I'm going to find that guy at the end and I'm going to say thank you because that's really awesome that he did that. I told my wife that and she said, yeah, like during those events, like, how do you know if somebody's not going into a cardiac arrest or something like that? Because you see them running and then they slow down or they stop and then, people just run past because you just automatically think, oh, no, he's just taking a moment.
It's buggered.
But, yes, I had 30 odd people pass me, but that one guy said something. And I really kind of thought, that's what this is all about. This is what life's all about, right? As we're looking out for each other. And so I think for us doing this, yes, it's hard. Yes, it's hard organizing this shit every week, trying to get a time that works good for you and for me and for Dean, and then trying to organize a guest and when when are they available, and then we have these technical issues that sometimes hold us back. And yes, all these things are hard. But if we can continually show up and we put in the effort and we put in the effort and we put in the effort, then there's growth in that because we're learning, right? And so, yeah, man, like I think there's been plenty of stuff for me lately that has, been a challenge. I'm 2.5 years into my quest of sobriety, which I kind of feel like I need to stop counting now.
Because it's just you now.
It's just me now. You know what I mean?
You're not that person anymore.
No. But it's a nice reminder to know how far you've come.
Yeah, of course. You've got to acknowledge the milestone.
That's right. I think so. I think you do. I think you have to acknowledge it. But I don't want it to be who I am, right?
Yeah.
Like I don't want it to make me who I am.
You're no longer Tim the sober, you're just Tim.
I'm just Tim. Yeah.
Just Tim.
Yeah, that's right. And so, I've been doing that and we moved country. We moved from New Zealand to Australia. So that's been really hard. There's been a lot of growth in that, watching my wife struggle with, connections and friendships and kind of feeling like she wants to go home. And then those kinds of things translating to the kids because they're essentially kind of taking on the emotions from mum, having to get past all of that. That's been really difficult. But I kind of was always of the frame of mind, like we've just got to keep pushing. We just keep pushing, because I don't know, I did pretty good here from the get go. So for me, I've had a really different, expedition of moving here than my wife has. So, but watching her struggle, that's been hard. But she's in a really good place right now, which is really nice. And she's got a really nice group of friends that they're starting to do a lot of things together, and that's
good.
That's really good. And seeing her doing something hard at the moment, she's just become a Zumba instructor.
Ooh, Zumba.
So this is something that she's been doing for a long time, and been doing more of it since she arrived in Australia, and then having the inspiration from her Zumba instructor to do it, and then seeing her not feel like she would be good enough, and then me encouraging her and all this sort of stuff, and watching her growth in that. And she starts her own class in a few weeks, and so that's really awesome for her. And yes, she's nervous, but that nervousness will only last for so long, right? So
She'll kill it.
yeah, I know
She'll kill it.
100%. She always does, man. Like with anything she puts her mind to, sometimes she taps out of things, but the things that she does stick with, she crushes.
But even if she taps out, she's tried.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. And I don't see failure in trying.
No.
And but then like now that I'm sober, I've decided to restudy, and that's not something it's something that I wanted to do for a long time, but I never felt like I could, because my brain was always so cluttered or foggy with being stoned all the time. And I just didn't feel like I had the mental capacity to take on some kind of study, because if I took on study, then it meant that I would have had to sober up. And for me, that wasn't the option at the time. I would have rather just taken this path of least resistance, which was getting baked every day and just living my nice, cushy little routine life that I had, then stepping out of the comfort zone to see what else was out there. But I'm doing that now. So yeah, like I've signed up for this course, and for a long time I wanted to restudy, but it just was like I didn't know what to restudy. So I had this like, I know what I want to do, but I didn't have a purpose behind it. So now that I've figured out what that purpose is, I decided to invest that money and sign up. So I'm studying like a level 4 certificate in alcohol and drug counselling, so that I can use my experience and what I've learned through life, with having my own mental health issues, being around a lot of mental health issues, overcoming party drugs in my 20s, and then eventually being able to overcome, cannabis, the old savage cabbage. And so, I'm going to use all this life knowledge that I have to now, try and help other people. And so that's a year course, and I'm only a few weeks in. So, the next year is going to be really tough, but I'm looking forward to the challenge of it. Just trying to find that balance of study and keeping up with the study and the routines, and getting into that habit of doing it, and getting really stuck in, and there's a lot of role playing type assessments within it, which that I might struggle with that a little bit at first, but that's that uncomfortable zone, right? You can't get into the comfortable zone without stepping into that uncomfortable, awkward phase first, right? And so that's where I'm at right now in life. So there's a lot of my life, like I still got my job. I'm still doing my normal Monday to Friday job, which that has its struggles too sometimes, but I'm comfortable in that little zone. I know what I'm doing there. That's good. But this whole study thing, like, man, I haven't even owned a laptop in 12 years. Like I'm like nearly 15 years behind on like laptop technology, and I've just got a new laptop, and like I'm just like sitting there going, oh, I'm like, babe, what's going on here? Like, show me on. She's like,
do you turn it on?
do this, and I'm like, oh, okay, what did you just do there? Oh, I just missed that. All right, okay, I'll figure that out later, and then having to figure out all these things like Zoom. I didn't even use Zoom until like the first time when we
With
called Rick. That was like the first time I'd use Zoom. Like, I just don't do these things, man. Like for like many years, I like lived in worked in the bush, and I'd just been outside, and we've got phones in our pockets that do everything for us now. So, there's all these things that these challenges that I'm taking on right now, which I'm enjoying the challenge. I'm enjoying having the headspace and the capacity to be able to now take on these new challenges in life. I'm 42. There's still fucking so much time ahead of me. Like now's a great time to change, what I'm doing, or change up life, or learn some new things. There's never not a good time to change. I follow Gary V on Instagram, and the guy is in your face, but he's got a lot of truth in what he says, and I like what he says. He gets all these young people in their 20s going, oh, I don't know what I want to do in life, and he's going, good, fuck, just go out and let's live, and go fucking find your purpose. Go. Who cares if you don't know what you want to do in life right now? You're only 22. Like, fuck, you're still a baby. Like, and I like that, and Morgan Freeman didn't become an actor until he was in his mid-40s. Look at the guy. Now,
What an actor.
What an actor.
Yeah.
Fucking love that guy.
Yeah.
And so it's just things like that, it's there's never a time not to make some change in your life, or step into that uncomfortable zone to find the comfort zone. I've got a few pictures that I keep on my phone that, like the comfort zone's in a ball, and then outside of the comfort zone, it says, way out is like where the magic happens. I really like that one because it's just so simple and it's just so easy, because the magic never happens in your comfort zone. You ain't ever going to grow there.
And when you push yourself.
That's right. And so by doing something hard, like the running thing, like I don't necessarily enjoy it all the time, but because it's hard, I like how I feel afterwards. I like the knowing that I've done something hard, and then I've continued it, and I haven't given up on it, and then I've pushed it. Yeah. But you're doing something similar right now, huh?
Yeah. I signed up for a certificate in mental health, and something I'm equipped with and have some knowledge about. So I thought it would be, like I said, goes along with the lines of always wanting to talk about mental health as well. So, be able to put into practice what I'll be preaching. So it's kind of like I'm learning how to deal with myself while also learning how to deal with others at the same time. So getting two birds stoned at once,
Two birds stoned, or two?
No. It's a quote from a movie where they stuff that saying up, and they purposely say it like that.
Okay.
So two birds stoned at once. Yeah. So I'm doing a Cert 4 in a diploma in mental health. Nice. Same as you. Got my regular 9 to 5, but it's definitely got its challenges. But I'm probably not as clear-minded or focused. I'm not clear-minded as probably what you are. I'm still a bit foggy, and trying to find that happy medium at the moment is still quite hard, with wanting to devote all this certain amount of time to study, but I feel like I can't, because I feel like I need to be more present. It's probably it's challenging. It's challenging trying to for me at the moment to juggle everything with what's going on at work and wanting to do the study, but I'm finding the time. I'd like to find more time, but
I guess it's like on. because we're adults and with families and kids, and we've had this life all planned out, and then we add this whole other realm to it. Like I haven't really studied since I was at school.
Nah.
And yes, I did an apprenticeship, but that was pretty easy to sort that out, But yeah, like trying to manage the time, like at the moment, like I get the kids down at night time, 8 o'clock they're in bed, and then it's kind of like, then I've got some time to study, and it's like, you're studying from like 8 to 11 at night.
Yes, I can't.
And then
do
it's
that.
like, and then I'm up at like 5:30 in the morning to go to work, and so it's there's trying to adjust to all of that. I'm a bit of a short sleeper, anyways. Like my sleep cycle is usually about 6 hours a night most nights, anyways. So, and it's been like that for a long time. I manage okay on 6 hours, but I've been feeling a lot more tired lately because I've been mentally active
It's draining.
in the nighttime instead of just chilling out, watching some telly and
Having a cuppa.
having a cuppa, and I'm actually now like, it's that mental challenge that I haven't been used to, that I'm trying to kind of, get into the habit of and get used to and whatnot. I'm anything physical, put me in front of something physical and I'm good to go. Like yourself, you walked a 35K walk with no training.
Yeah, just do it.
Just do it. Because you know that you're physically capable. But when it comes to the mental stuff, like I struggle because a lot of my jobs over the years have all been physical. Yes, there's been a mental capacity, for them, but it's more physical. So switching to something like counselling, where there's a lot more reading, there's a lot more mental capacity that's going into it, I'm struggling with that a little bit because that's really hard because I've not been used to that, but I'm trying.
Yeah.
And I'll keep trying because I want to knock this out the fucking
Yeah.
park, man.
I think I've got to try to juggle my time better. Like there's a time where when I get this week's been a bit hard, but there's a time where we get the kids home, I get the kids home, and then they might be we give them, before they start doing their homework, or they're supposed to be doing their homework, we let them, chill, watch a bit of TV.
Yeah.
And that's when I use my time to chill. But really, I was just thinking about it. I should be trying to get at least an hour and a half or punch out an hour and a half of study. So when they do go to bed, I only have to do another hour instead of trying to punch out 2 or 3 hours after 8 o'clock. So it's all about, I guess, managing my time properly as well, which I'm only just starting to try to get on top of as well, so I can get that maximum brain time in for study.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely a delicate juggle, but I think if you kind of try and lock into a bit of a routine and you just sort of figure out what works for you, then
That's short-term pain, really.
that's right. That's
For
right.
what,
And
a year and a half, 2 years?
And that's the way I see it, man. It's like, yeah, I just, it's 1 year of my life, and I've already been in Australia over 2 years, and that's gone so fast. And so it's kind of just like, yeah, well, if I can devote 1 year of my life to it, then I'm going to be better for that next year. And the amount of shit I'm already learning in the first couple of weeks is huge. Like it's I won't go into it, but there's a lot to learn, and there's I'm going to be pretty knowledgeable by the end of it because I'm a good reader. I'm not a strong reader, so sometimes I'll read something and I'll be like, what was the first part of that? So I have to reread it. So I'm like rereading things like twice.
See, I'm good at reading it, but I'm not good at retaining it.
Yeah.
And even typing it down is hard.
Yeah.
Like I need to write it.
Yeah.
When I write something down, that is when I remember it.
Yeah.
I've noticed that this week as well.
And see, I love writing. I love writing, but I'm slow on the keyboard, right?
Yeah.
I'm like,
like a typewriter.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ding, ding.
Yeah, I'm sure monkeys could probably type quicker than me, man. Like, and so, yeah, those sorts of things have been hard, and I guess there's heaps of aspects of life that challenge us every day. You know what I mean? And it's sometimes just accepting those challenges is growth. Like you had like the whole like road ragey thing going on. But trying to control that. There's a challenge in trying to control your anger or your rage when you're on the road, right? But eventually over time, you'll grow to just be pretty nonchalant about it.
I have been a lot better.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. There's growth then.
Yeah,
You
there's
know,
growth.
That's growth. Yeah.
That's growth.
Yeah. And so, yeah, like I'm constantly trying to challenge myself or my kids now with the things that are hard, because that's where the growth is. And I was really proud of Daisy, my daughter, when we come home from the marathon. Like a huge part of that for me was having them at the finish line, seeing me finish that, because there's been months and months and months of me putting in the hard work, and they've seen that. And I needed to show them the final product of that hard work and what that feels like and what that looks like. And then that afternoon we came home and Daisy started this little journal of all the things that she wants to achieve over the next year. And she came to me with this list of these things that she wants to achieve over the next year. You know, she wants to play soccer next season, and she wants to do a running race, and there's a few other things. And I said, okay, that's awesome. Okay, now you got to write a list on how you think you're going to achieve these things. So she went away and she thought about that, and she wrote down a list and some of the some really good things in there that could help her. And then it was like, okay, now what are the things that you need in order to be able to do these things? So I got her to start thinking about that. So, there's a flow-on effect, like, right? If we as parents are doing hard things and reaping the rewards of doing these hard things, then that's a flow-on effect to our kids. They're going to pick up on these things, because kids are sponges. They're like our little sponges of life that sponge up all of the information that we put out there. And so if we're constantly trying to level up and do the hard things and don't hide the emotions from them around those things, and show them the lows and the highs of these things, then they will naturally take on these hard challenges in life too, and push and push and push and grow and grow and grow. Like, as a parent, like, you're not just setting your kids up to go out into the world. You're developing good human beings. I mean, some of us are, well, some of us want to, but I'm one of these parents who I want my kids to be fucking awesome at everything that they do. And if they can't be fucking awesome at it, then at least they tried, right? And trying's all good. And so, yeah, man. Yeah. Growth in the hard stuff. Yeah. Do the hard things, eh? Yeah. Yeah. And so what do you got coming up? You got something coming up? You got another walk, don't you?
Oh yeah. It's, I'm gonna be doing the walk for kids.
Yep.
I think it's like a 42k walk at night. It goes from, actually I've got to look into what the time is, but it's during my usual sleep time, and
Yeah.
I'm the opposite. Like, my kids don't see the work that goes into it, because if I just think I'm going to try and do it, I just commit to doing it. Like that walk, I didn't practice, didn't train, didn't do anything. I just told my kids that I'm doing it, and I went out and did it.
Yeah.
It's just like, sometimes you just got to, I just wanted to show them if like I just committed to it.
Yeah. Well, there's lessons in that
and
too.
even though I didn't train, and there was times where I thought, oh shit, why the fuck am I doing this? But you gave your word, you said you were going to do it, and I went out there and I did it.
And that's the point I was going to make.
And if I had have failed, or not failed, if I had have stopped, I still followed through. I went there, I started walking, but I got through it in the end.
Yeah.
But they saw that, and they know that their dad is not active in terms like running or anything like that.
Yeah.
And they were proud that I still managed to do it, man.
100%.
I did it, and fuck, it was hard. It was so hard. My hips were sore.
Yeah.
They were so sore, man.
Yeah.
But it was a good challenge. I think this other walk is going to be even obviously more challenging, because it's during the night where I should be sleeping, so it's going to be really hard. But hopefully I just become delirious, and I just follow the person in front of me.
Just walking in a
But
daze.
for this, I'm looking forward to doing this one.
Yeah.
And it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard work, but again, I haven't trained.
So a marathon distance, yeah? 42.
Yeah, pretty
Ks,
much.
42.2 Ks.
Pretty much, mate. So
That's
it took
awesome.
7 hours to do 35 Ks. So I would assume it probably take about 8 or 9 hours to do this one.
Wow, man. It's awesome.
And then to cover from, I'll probably have to take a day off
Oh,
the
yeah.
next day to get my sleep back in. But I want to do it. I do like pushing myself through a few some hard things. So
Yeah.
the kids
Yeah.
see it.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I've always been one to take on that physical challenge.
Yeah.
And I love the physical challenges. And so this is the first time in a long time that I'm taking on that mental challenge, and like yourself too. But yeah, no, I'm fucking stoked that you're doing that walk.
Yes, I've sort of signed up for it, but I've committed to
Yeah.
one of the guys in the walking group that we did last that I'll do it with him and
Yep.
see who else wants to do it. And if no one wants to do it, and I'll just chuck my headphones in, mate, and just walk
Yeah.
and just listen to 9 hours of music. Just get lost in music, mate.
Hard out.
Yeah,
Hard out,
that's
man.
the dream.
Hard out. All right, man. Well, I think that's a really good conversation. I think there's a lot of takeaways in there, and I think that could be a good one for the listeners or the viewers to
Just do it.
look into some hard things in your own life,
Just do it.
and don't shy away from the hard things. Hey, yeah,
That's where the growth is.
that is, man. And if you got any comments or anything you want to talk about, let us know. And yeah, man.
Peace.
We're putting it all on the table. You know what to do.